Hi, this is Jay again from JD and the Sumpsea. Thanks for watching. I'm back again with part 3 of painting House Greim Champions. In this video, I'll be finishing up the 2 champions that I started in the previous 2 videos, and this will be the final video of painting the champions. I'm going to do one more video after this, and I'll be painting all of the gangers from the game. So this video is going to be comparing some different washes. So last summer, Games Workshop changed their formulation for the Agrax Earthshade, and now it's a shiny wash when it dries instead of a matte finish wash, which is not what I want. So I'm showing here the Jägerkin that I painted over a year ago, and I used the old Nuln Oil and the old Agrax Earthshade. I'm going to try and approximate the wash on him. So I bought some Army Painter washes to see if those would work. And here is the champion that I'm going to wash. We're going to start off with the light tone wash from Army Painter, and it should be approximate to the Agrax Earthshade. So let's give it a try. And I'm putting this wash over brown and tan parts of the model, like his backpack, his boots, some of his armor, and I'm also putting it on his gun, because I do want his gun to look a bit grimy. Being in the Underhive is not a clean place to be. Alright, now we're switching to a strong tone, and this I assumed when I got it was going to approximate Nuln Oil. So I'm going to try with the strong tone to go over metal pieces and see if that looks approximately like the Nuln Oil. I'm also going over the gray of his pants and the light blue and dark blue of his armor and his shirt. Switching to the flesh wash from Army Painter. I'll now apply this on his arm and hands and onto his face. This is the next day, and the washes didn't quite do what I was hoping they would do. They're rather shiny and they don't really show up too much. If you look at this model with Agrax and Nuln Oil, there really is no shine, and they darken the whole model and go into the recesses. So I have to do something about this. So what I decide to do is use contrast Garag's Sewer and mix in some Lamian Medium. So I'm going to try and make a wash out of a contrast paint, which shouldn't be too difficult since contrast paints are closer to washes than regular layer or base paints from Games Workshop. And this will be my new Agrax Earthshade if this does what I want it to do. Again, it needs to stain the model Make it look a bit grungy, but not be shiny. Next, I'm going to take some Black Legion contrast paint. I'm going to mix it with Phlegmian medium to make a wash, a black wash. This is in case I don't like the new Nuln Oil, which I don't believe I've tried yet. So let's see if this approximates the old Nuln Oil. I'm also putting it over the blue, because I'm trying to get the blue to be not shiny. Okay, switching over to the weird pyromancer. His robes I want to paint with this glaze, the Guilliman blue glaze. The glaze should go into the folds of his robe, and it should make it look more three-dimensional. Should give good shadows in the recesses. Then I'm going to go over his flesh with the flesh wash. I do think the flesh wash for Army Painter washes works pretty well. I do like that for flesh. So we're going to paint his arms, and his hands, and his face, and his feet. Again, running barefoot in the hive seems like a bad idea. Then I'm going to use the brown wash I made again and go over all of the brown parts of the model. The wristbands and the torch. Also going to apply it to his backpack. Try and make it look grungy. Okay, back to the other champion. We're going to use the gold paint Retributor armor and paint the skulls. The skull on his shoulder pad and the skull on his chest, to try and match the Jägerkin model. Moving back to the pyromancer, I am looking at the sword because I need to paint the sword like the other power sword in the gang. The Kriegmeister has a blue power sword, and I used the Calidor Sky as the base color, so I'm going to apply that to the weird sword. And that's a neat little trick I use. Sometimes the paint pots won't stay open after a little while, so I found putting another paintbrush and propping it open with the paintbrush seems to work pretty well. Try and get a nice even-ish coat. And then as I'm doing that, I look at the robes and I realize, you know, that Guilliman's blue color dried okay, but maybe I can do a little bit better. I also decide the bottom of it needs to be painted dark blue. Alright, we're going to make more of that black wash with the Black Legion contrast, and the Lamian medium. And I'm going over that blue, that dark blue again, as well as the skulls and the shoulder pads. I'm trying to get that dark blue to not be shiny, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to fully make it a matte color anymore. I'm going over his sword again, just to make it a little bit darker. I feel like darker silver in the 41st Millennium looks better than a brighter silver. This is that brown contrast I'm going to be making into a wash again, because I need to hit the Pyromancer with some more of this. And we're going to put it on his blue robes, because we've got to make it look a bit dirty. It looked too clean before. Running around in the Underhive gets your clothes rather dirty, even only while being there for a short amount of time. Now to continue on with the sword, I'm using this light blue craft paint, and I'm going to dry brush the sword. Fairly heavy dry brush, it leaves a decent amount of the light blue paint, and this is a lot of times how I do power swords. So with this dark blue, then light blue. Sometimes I've done dark red and light red, and I don't do a wash over that either. I think it looks better without a wash. And there he is. The weird Pyromancer. He is complete, minus the base. And the other champion is also done, minus the base. He's a bit shinier than I'd like, especially the blue, but there's not a lot that I can do to fix him. Moving forward, I will get to the other gangers in the next video. Thanks for watching.